We are about 15 or so miles northwest of world-famous Miami Beach as we are set for football at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Throwing to start the drive. Travis. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Well, these two teams met at MetLife Stadium earlier in the season with the Jets winning that ball game. So they're looking for the season sweep with a win here in Miami. He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. You talk about this Miami defense. Well, they come in the top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th in the NFL. Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack. And that is too far out in front. He couldn't haul it in. Incomplete. So on fourth down, out is Ryan Rico to punt. Malik Washington deep for Miami. Fielded at the 33. Able to avoid him at the 40. That'll go as a punt of 42. 7 on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. They'll start on the ground with Wright. The solid stiff arm. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. That one 28 yards on the ground. The safeties were well back there, and he had a lot of room. Were they in the cover too? Yeah, they were, and the safeties were back. You know, usually they're 12 to 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, somewhere around the hash mark for each of them. But what also happens if the linebackers dive into the line, if you block them initially, that blocker can come off of them and get up to the safeties on the second level, and now you've got a big place to run the football. Here's 2nd and 10. Tua going to give this to Wright. And he's down into the red zone at the 16 after a gain of 16. 1st and 10. 2 carries for him now on the opening drive, both for good yardage. And based on film study, they thought that there was a chance to spring him more than once for some pretty good yardage in this game. Touchdown, Dolphins! Tyreek Hill! His first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Now, they entered play on a 2-game win streak, and then they've got the open date on their schedule next week. So this is a group that's really looking to hit the break on a high note. And this will obviously be a tough game for them, but go ahead and play this out with me, partner. If they win here and make it 3 in a row, they get to heal up after that. You've got to think that's an ideal setup and a worthy goal to play for in this one. 2nd and 1. Going out wide, finds Chubb. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. We'll get an update when we come back to Miami. First carry for the Iowa State man, Breece Hall, to about the 48-yard line. When you look at this defense, now they've been dreadful against the run. No getting around at number 32, dead last in the NFL.
They have tried all season long to fix all the things that they need to in the running game, and they have been successful so far. I'm wondering if this is a time to just sell out. Make sure you have 8 in the box every time and bring a 9th and sometimes even a 10th to try and stop them from running the ball.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. From the gun on third down, Travis. And they'll find the open man. That's complete. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. Give them 22 there on the third down conversion. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 30-yard line. Eluding the pressure right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
So it looks like they stopped some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Paul want to give up the middle. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down. Operating from the gun, Travis. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. They'll run with Hall. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3.
It is definitely hard to find space near the goal line. You always want to have a guy in the game running it who can create his own.
2nd and goal from the 1. And he is in. Touchdown, New York. It's their quarterback with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Jets are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Extra point by Sly is up and good, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. 3-2, their record through the first 5 games of the year as they got the victory last week. And it's still early, just October, but what have you seen from these guys so far?
Well, what I've seen is a team that's still figuring out all their pieces because they've got some new faces from a year ago, add in some new draft picks. Sometimes it takes a month or so before you really start to gel as a team and for those players to figure out their roles. But right now, I see them starting to elevate.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. Play action. Now it's Tua. Throwing left side. It's complete. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. These 2 teams all tied after 1. Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Returnable here from the 38. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Sitting in first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Out of the gun, they run it with Hall. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. It goes as a gain of 6, and it's a 1st down. Operating from the gun, Travis. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half, because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series, before you get out there, hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
That's out to Hill, right side complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. A give up the middle to right. And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. On play action, here's Tua. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. The Dolphins at 3-2, a game over 500 here to start the season. And they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted. And the Jets will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7. Coming up at halftime, and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth.
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
They'll look to throw now on first down. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. He's got his pass-catching tight end, that's Pitts. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 23. 23 yards the pickup there.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And that is incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. That's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Off play action. Travis. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, it looked like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
Back to throw again. And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be, and now it's fourth down. Sly able to put this one through, and they take the lead here now at 10-7. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021.
Now a hit and a loose football. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
As that ball got away from him, and he saw the opposing team recover it.
You felt his pain?
Oh, I felt his pain, and you know what was going through his head. Tuck it away. Take care of the ball. All the things he hears all week in practice, he didn't carry it over into the game.
Throwing to start the drive. Travis. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And this one is incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Off the play fake. Travis. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And he is caught, and he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Touchdown, Jets! A great effort there as the first half is winding down. And the Jets will extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by Sly is up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. And going deep for Hill. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks it off, and he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Dolphins 7. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. A 10-point game, 17-7 the score as we get back to it on EA Sports. Oh, and a nice return, but he takes a big shot at the end of it. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they're down on the scoreboard. Sort of a sloppy first half. And Coach Davis, if you were in the locker room, what would the message have been?
I think I'd have to go.
Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. That one is going to sting. First play of the 3rd quarter and a turnover.
And you have to know that at halftime, they spent a lot of time going through their checklist of what they wanted to accomplish to start this 3rd quarter. Turning it over like this was not on that list.
Not at all. And you come out of the locker room trailing, so that first drive to establish momentum is very key.
Crucial.
This is caught inside the 15. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. A gain of 39 that time. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Davante Adams with career touchdown number 109. That ties him with Barry Sanders on the all-time NFL list. And the Jets are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Now Tua. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just 1 more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Getting this out to the flat, Mostert. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Tagovailoa going for it on 4th down. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield. They'll work the middle here with Wright. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. 44. Nice linebacker play.
Here's Tua. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. And the Jets are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Boy, Charles, that is now 3 interceptions in 3 consecutive drives, and you can see he's just got a look of disgust and bad body language, understandably, as he walks off the field.
And I think it comes from the fact that he's not sure what he sees down the field, Brandon. I don't know if he's seeing ghosts. I don't know if he just can't read defenses. I'm not sure what it is, but that's why he's frustrated. And think about the defense right now. Every time they run on the field, they've gone from hoping to intercept the pass to expecting to intercept passes. Their confidence at an all-time high right now. The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
He's got it to Williams. Room to maneuver at the 35. And finally taken down at the 30-yard line. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. They'll look to throw again. Flush to his right. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. A 6-yard touchdown run as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Extra point by Sly is up and good, and the lead is now 24. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. Slide for the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Looking to pass. Tua. And now here is another interception. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Well, this is one heck of an individual performance we're witnessing. That is now his 3rd interception. And keep in mind, folks, this isn't a safety or a cornerback. This is a linebacker.
Does this feel to you like he's having a flashback? Because a lot of these linebackers we see in the NFL, In high school, they were offensive stars. They touched the football all the time. It's like he said to himself, let's go back and put on the leather jacket and go get the football. How about this one? 3 interceptions thus far.
That's caught left side. Ruckert with it. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. And a penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Well, this is caught by Williams. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. Well, those backups on the sideline, they got to be eagerly anticipating the fourth quarter upcoming. Look at the size of the lead, how they're moving the football. This defense really struggling and giving up plays like we just saw.
Yeah, Stars have certainly done all they've needed to in this one, haven't they? But my question is, will he be able to resist the urge to continue to run things up a bit and get his main guys a few bonus stats before he calls them off the field?
Here's a 2nd and 7. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI. And since the penalty occurred in the end zone, move the ball to the 1-yard line.
1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Costly penalty.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Travis got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Again, he'll drop to throw. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points. Sly on for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
Dolphins 7.
The Jets kick team out now to boot this one away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and 5.
Ready.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And my goodness, another interception. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth quarter lead. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Jalen Ramsey. And the Dolphins are going to take over here up near the 40. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. C.J. Mosley, the linebacker, making sure his presence is felt. So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Jermaine Johnson credited with that sack.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Tua. He'll let this go deep for Waddle. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Here we go, set.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
Well, they've certainly been successful throwing it around in this game, and that's allowed them to move the ball on offense. But I've got to tell you, to watch them run the football and successfully, I'm not taking sides. But to see the ball in a running back's hands, oh, that's football for me.
On 1st down, right back to Hall. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Brandon, at some point, these defenders absolutely have to say, we've just got to make a stand. We've had enough of this.
Giving up a lot of points in this game, but look better on that play. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal.
Come on, set, take go.
Looking to throw. Travis. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. This will cost him 11 yards there on the 2nd and goal sack. Third and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound.
Let's go.
They'll try to run it here with Hall. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, they certainly didn't appear to be fired up about their options throwing the football. So, to me, this seems like a case of just kind of taking their medicine there, run the ball, see if they could pick up something. Instead, they were throwing for a loss.
Sly able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so, and maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Well, not one you see often there as he fails to keep it between the sidelines, and that is a penalty every time and going to give this offense better field position.
And it's every kickoff guy's nightmare, isn't it? Because you don't see yourself doing this, and most of the time you don't. It's absolutely a mishit, and now your team pays the price. Bad field.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And while all of that was going on with a sack, it appears, unfortunately, we have an injured player. We'll get an update when we come back to Hard Rock Stadium.
On the set.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. They complete it to Hill. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. The Dolphins on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. And a big loss here as he's taken down. C.J. Mosley able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
Talk about two sides of the ball and cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front seven, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line.
Ready. Go.
Straight ahead is Hall. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Jordan Brooks on the tackle.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Hall again on 2nd down. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. Well, they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, at this juncture, CD, you normally see teams pack in the passing game. They've got the huge lead. Not them, though. They're still taking their shots.
I remember reading in past history, there was a college football coach in the Hall of Fame whose nickname was Close the Gates of Mercy. But he wasn't really big on that. He was big on go ahead and scoring. He's kind of reincarnated right here. We're watching it in front of us.
The Jets kick team out now to boot this one away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice.
Hill's hit, and he lost the football. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for the Giants, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.